Hi, I'm Liz. This is my social media campaign, kind of what I've done over the last 2 weeks, and we will quick take a look at that. The community that I worked with, I started out trying to direct everything at the Iowa State University American Meteorological Society. Miscommunication is really, really bad within the meteorology community with the advent of everything, social media, sharing, the internet. Everybody has access to information that they may not necessarily understand, and by misinterpreting that, they can really create hype for things that don't need to be hyped. So I decided, instead of directing all my focus at the community, I decided to lead by example, which in turn expanded my community to basically anybody interested in weather. My biggest influencer was Nate Johnson. He is a meteorologist, TV meteorologist down in Raleigh, North Carolina. And he does a lot of work both with meteorologists and with the general public. And so I got a lot of ideas from him, kind of looked at him to see what to do for possibilities for me, where to go, what things to say, how to say it. And so that was my biggest influencer. Goals within the community, I focused a lot on weather preparedness, especially because it's spring. That's the big severe weather season. So that was definitely something to consider. I also looked at other weather-related problems that weren't necessarily directly, oh, this is a thunderstorm, whatever, but it's more like allergies and how the weather affects that. Hiking, which is looking at forecasts, knowing when's a good day to go hiking. And some other things. I talked about Earth Day in a post. I've talked about some hiking adventures, like I mentioned already. And so they were weather related, but not directly a post about weather. And so here's my strategy back from when we did the post assignment. And so I focused a lot for these last 2 weeks on Convert by using my own social media and research to show how expanding their social media could potentially promote the club and its mission. And so I just kind of, like I've already said, lead by example. I created these accounts, show them that whatever success I gained from my account, they could say, oh, this is a good idea, maybe we should do this too. Tactics, I started off by showing how to combat misinformation, but then the more I did research, the more I discovered not a lot of people within that community were using social media outside of Facebook, which was really an issue because we focused a lot on Twitter and a blog and using other social media platforms. And so I decided, again, by leading by example, since I couldn't interact with them directly on other social media, I led by example. As you can see from my Twitter, I post a combination of links to blogs, random information about what was going on. I retweeted some people. And so it was just a general, here's where you can go to find some weather information. Here's some more tactics. You can see this is my blog, recent posts for my blog. I talked about severe weather. I talked about the Great Park Pursuit, which is a hiking thing. I also talked about Earth Day and air quality. So again, you can see that I talked about some things that were weather preparedness, some things that were weather related, but not directly a weather post. On Facebook, I usually posted links to my blog. Otherwise, I'd post photos of what was going on. You can see down here some flooding from the other day when we got a lot of rain. And so usually I would either post a photo or a link, and that was usually all I did on Facebook. Here's my Instagram. You can see I haven't really done a whole lot with it. It also didn't quite work out the way that I thought, which I will get into more detail about that later, but there's a quick overview. Instagram was my other social media account that I decided to try. So if we look at results, you can see this is for WordPress. The views tended to come on the days that I posted, which makes sense. But I thought it was interesting that a lot of the days I just didn't have any views, even if I had posted, or even if I hadn't posted. I know with some of my other blog attempts, I would still have views on the days that I didn't post anything. So I don't know whether that was just a factor of I didn't have a big following yet, or just who was looking at it. I also found that references to the site were split 50-50 between Facebook and Twitter. The top posts, you can see most of the top posts are the directly weather-related ones. And the posts more towards the bottom that didn't get very many views were the ones that weren't directly related to weather, like the Earth Day one, the air quality one. Like, yes, they are weather-related, but it's not saying, here's some cool weather phenomenon. It's saying here is air quality and why it affects you, which again I guess isn't as popular. People don't want to be reading about that. They want the more exciting things. On Twitter, I stayed at a steady 16 followers for a while. This graph shows from the time that I started tweeting up until now. And you can see I didn't gain many followers outside of the class. I only had one or two. Which, that was a direct factor of, like I stated before, the people on that I knew in the community on social media were really only on Facebook and they weren't on anything else. And so if we take a look at the most popular links that were clicked on Twitter, you can see the top one was actually a really cool image I found. It was a radar image from April 28th of a classic hook echo, which is a radar signature of a tornado, and they're really neat looking. And I posted it on Instagram, but apparently people could view it on Instagram, but they didn't like it or anything. And so I thought that was interesting that that was my top post, yet my Instagram didn't have all that many likes or clicks or anything. And my other two posts, you can see, one is Facebook, but it links to a blog post. The other one's another blog post, so that's usually what got me clicks. Facebook, I stayed at 33 likes for the last 2 weeks. Again, I probably could have done a better job reaching out to more people. But even though I did stay at just 33 likes, the posts were consistently being seen by 20 to 25 people every time I posted one. And the people that liked my page were 61% female, 39% male. And here's a look at the top Facebook posts by who interacted with them, so whether they liked it, shared it, commented on it. You can see my post about severe weather, blog post about severe weather is the one that got the most interactions. I had several of my family members liked it because they live in the Midwest. They know what it's like to need to be severe weather ready. So they found that post really helpful. But you can see a lot of my more recent posts are the ones that had the most interactions. Even if it doesn't look like they had all that many post clicks, which I think is when you click to read more. And so here's a perfect example. If you take a look at the top posts, for post clicks, they're different. And so it means that even if a post has a lot of views, if it's not good content, it's not going to garner any interactions. So that was something I learned and got better at as I went. Instagram, like I mentioned already, it was kind of a miserable failure. I only ever had the one follower, and that one other follower was my personal account. And I didn't really get any likes other than I had one random person like a photo that I posted on Earth Day. Because their profile made them seem like a big outdoorsy person, so that's probably how they found that photo. So again, that was kind of a miserable failure, which leads directly to my analysis. Instagram did not work. It was very, very difficult not only on my end, but also getting the word out to everybody. It is very, very difficult to manage multiple accounts. You can't do anything online. It's all on your mobile phone, which also adds extra steps when you want to upload photos. You have to go on, find the photo you want, upload it to your phone, and then post it to Instagram, which is a lot of extra work. And that's what made me start to think maybe Tumblr would have been a better idea because you can reblog photos that are already on there. It's both on mobile and on the web, and so depending on where I'm at, it's really easy to put photos on there. And it's much, much easier to manage multiple accounts. Even on the mobile application, they have a really easy way to switch between accounts if you have more than one. And that was a really big issue that I had with Instagram. I also definitely need to work on spreading my reach. I didn't really gain followers outside the class and some friends and family. But that would definitely come with working more with the initial community to spread the word. It would also be nice to get better content by working with the initial community to get ideas, and that would help spread the reach, gain followers, get the ball rolling on everything. On Facebook, I really thought it was interesting that less views doesn't always mean less interactions. Um, Interactions tend to really be based on your content and the quality of that content. So you really want to focus on having good quality content. And more interactions, again, you will get more interactions as you consistently post more. And that leads me to what to do next. You can, most definitely, I will be removing the Instagram, and then I would create a Tumblr to replace the Instagram, start spreading the word about that. Find ways to increase the fan base again, talking with the initial community, trying to spread the word with some influencers, which leads to interacting with more influencers. By talking to them, I could get better ideas, see ways to spread the word, see ways to create better content in general, since I am new to this. And something I did discover, this really would be nice to be more than just a one-person job. Even if it's just one person doing the actual posting, to get the group together to discuss what they think is important, that come up with ideas. Because my biggest problem was coming up with ideas. And to have a big group of people come up with a bunch of ideas, that way when I need a Facebook post or an Instagram post or whatever, I can just pull it from this list of ideas and really get a sense of what the community wants to share. And that really leads me to the last thing, is definitely post extremely regularly. As I started posting more regularly, I got more interactions, which it does make sense. I just didn't really do all that much with it. And so with that is what I would theoretically do if I was continuing. And otherwise, I hope all you guys have a great time.